I think, in my opinion, you can't go far on your own. Both my brother and I strongly believe in unity and collaboration among producers. As I mentioned, we are part of the consortium and we try to contribute actively to its value project. We maintain a good relationship with other producers. And first and foremost, we should see each other as colleagues, not competitors. Strength lies in unity.
Welcome to this special Clubhouse session of the Italian Wine Podcast. Listen in as members of the Italian wine community engage in fascinating conversations about contemporary wine topics. If you enjoyed the show, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. And remember to subscribe and rate the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your pods.
Hi everyone, this is Beatrice welcoming you to the Italian Wine Clubhouse Ambassadors Corner, one of the top-ranked shows on Italian Wine Podcast. Here, our ambassadors get the mic to interview their favorite producers with total freedom. And if you miss it live, no worries, it's all recorded and dropped later on the Italian Wine Podcast. Today's guest host is Anna Obukhovskaya.
That's correct.
Thank you. Anna has 16 years of experience in wine retail, marketing and sales, worked in a number of bigger wine importing companies and independent projects, founded the Italian Wine Tasting Club in Saint Petersburg in Russia. In 2020, she began her journey as an Italian wine ambassador. Since 2022, she is based in Slovenia. Currently, she is leading export development and sales strategies for wineries and food producers at Nautilus Trade, the company she founded. Congratulations, Anna, really.
Thank you. Italian wine is a big passion of mine.
Yeah, I know. Today she's gonna interview Laura Bosio from Azienda Agricola Bosio. So Anna, Laura, how are you doing?
All good. Laura, how are you today?
Fine, thanks. Hello to everybody.
And Anna, are you ready for our 3 ritual questions?
So ready.
How did you discover the wines of Azienda Agricola Bosio?
Well, first of all, I take any possible opportunity to travel to Franciacorta area because it's one of my favorite in Italy. Because of those who you never been, I tell you, it is the place where you drink and eat so well. Trust me, guys. So I took my trip to Franciacorta in July and I visited Bosio because I heard very good recommendations from my friends and colleagues. So that's how I got to meet Laura. And I was absolutely charmed by the warmth of the family and of the character of the wines that complemented each other so beautifully. And besides the renowned labels, I was also charmed by their satin, a very elegant, refined, and so far the best expression of the style I have ever tasted. So it left a lasting impression on me. So both as a professional and as a wine lover.
So tell us, why did you select Laura as your featured producer?
Well, I selected Laura because her wines really left a strong impression, as I already said. But the estate has its renowned labels, but I truly was impressed by the brother and the sister who run the winery, and brother of Laura, he's responsible for the cellar, and then with Laura we had such a good conversation. So I immediately thought that she would be a perfect guest for the interview because the way we talked in person was so warm and nice that I thought I would invite Laura to speak for our guests.
That's so nice, Anna, really. What are the learning objectives that we should expect from this interview?
Well, Franciacorta Wines always is an educational adventure, I must say, because it's such a patchwork of styles and different approaches within relatively small area. 300 producers in relatively small area, so it is really a patchwork. So the objective today is to help listeners gain a clearer understanding of the styles and terroir that define Bosio wines, and also will explore what makes this style unique and how the estate expresses elegance and refinement through winemaking, and also why terroir plays such an important role in shaping and character of these wines.
Okay, that sounds like a really nice plan. It's time for me to mute myself, and I'm turning over the floor to you, Anna. Have a nice interviews, girls.
Thank you, Beatrice. So, Laura,
Thank you.
let's start our interview, our talk. And let's say my first question is always the same. We all would like to know you more, to know you and the estate. So, could you please tell us about the history of your estate and how your family's heritage has shaped your philosophy in Franciacorta winemaking?
Okay, hello Anna, and thank you for the interview, and thanks to Beatrice. I'm Laura Bosio, and with my brother Cesare, we are the third generation of the Azienda Agricola Bosio in Franciacorta. Our company was founded in the 1950s by my grandfather, Girolamo Bosio. At that time, it was a typical small farm of 7 hectares with mixed cultivation of grapes and cereals, as was common in that area. It was my father, Luigi, who expanded the business during the economic boom in the 70s and 80s. He started working in a poor trade and with great foresight, reinvesting his saving in purchasing land in Franciacorta. Thanks to his efforts, Azienda Agricola Bosio grew to its current size of 25 hectares in Cortefranca, a little village at the north of Franciacorta. My brother Cesare and I represent the third generation. We joined the business in the late 90s, just in our early 20s. And from the beginning, we decided to give the company a clear direction, focusing exclusively on viticulture. We began by converting the existing vineyards and planting new vineyards more suitable to produce Franciacorta. And this transformation was made possible also thanks to our father's financial support. Spending our entire childhood in this environment was very important for us. We understood from an early age that working with the land follow its own rhythms. We are always subject to factors beyond our control. Each vintage is different from the other, and above all, nothing can be improvised. Both knowledge and passion are essential. And it's also important to say that the Franciacorta we lived as children in 70s and 80s is not comparable to the Franciacorta we see today. We lived the transformation of an entire region in just a few years, 20 years, 30 years maximum. But the key factor, knowledge and passion, remain just as essential today.
Well, that seems very interesting. And grow up in a winery in this area, it seems to be such a great place. Um, such fantastic memories. I think for those who travel to Franciacorta, you can immediately feel that it's a cozy place. It's relatively small with a lake. It has its very nice atmosphere. So, how could you describe your approach for viticulture and winemaking in Franciacorta? And do you lean more towards traditional method or modern innovation, or is it a balance of both?
As I said earlier, tradition is important, but so is innovation. In my opinion, we must innovate tradition. We are living in a delicate moment in history where innovation is advancing rapidly and can disrupt everything. I believe that who work closely with the land cannot afford to lose sight of this balance. Innovation is important It can help us manage vineyards more effectively or communicate our work better. But we must never forget that is the land, the nature, the heart of what we do. We must respect it and we cannot override its rhythms. The nature is important and its rhythm is important.
Well, yes, absolutely. I think now more and more wine producers understand and they perceive these natural practices and listen more to what nature gives us and appreciate it more. And it's definitely a trend. And I noticed that also in Franciacorta when I visited the area. It's very important to know what is your land, what it can give you, what are the rules, as you say. You
Yes.
learned a lot, I think, from previous generations. So now it's a job to keep this tradition, but also use innovations that are possible nowadays. But which grape varieties you mostly work with, and how you decide on the balance between this variety, and what guides you for blending choices?
In Franciacorta, it's possible to grow 4 types of grapes: Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Pinot Blanc, and more recently, an indigenous grape variety that has been rediscovered, named Herba Mate. At our company, we work with Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. I haven't Pinot Blanc and Herba Mate because the choice of these 2 varieties was based on the location of our vineyards. You, Anna, have seen that all of our vineyards are situated in the northern part of Franciacorta. And you have to know, Anna, you said early, that Franciacorta is a very small area, covering about 200 square kilometers, but it enjoy a variety of microclimates and depending on the specific location. Our vineyards are on the north of Franciacorta, and thanks to the lake's influence and the wines that come down from the mountain, the area is naturally cooler, and Chardonnay and Pinot Noir are the best grape for our position. What guide our blending decision? Well, first at all is the vintage. If it's a good or excellent year, we know we can produce long aging wine as a millésime or reserve wine. And if the vintage is less favorable, we make more basic wine. So the vintage is the first factor. Secondly, the style of Franciacorta we want to produce guides the blend. For example, if you want to make a Satén, which Anna really liked, we select the Chardonnay is the best for this style. When we want to make vintage or reserve wine that require long aging, we give more importance to Pinot Noir.
Yes, so that makes total sense because if I can, I'm recalling Franciacorta Satin. It's so soft, but same time it's so fresh, and
Yes.
Satin has less pressure than other Franciacorta wine, and also a bit of additional sugar, a slightly higher level than regular. So the style of Satin, meaning silk, is actually very soft, very gentle. And this is exactly the feeling that I get from Bosio satin. It's so delicate, something you really want to share with dear friends. It's not pretentious, but it's definitely a happy wine. My next question would be about Franciacorta and Franciacorta uniqueness. So, for those of our listeners who never experienced Franciacorta wine, how would you describe your wines and what makes them unique in comparison to other sparkling wines?
I should start by saying that the overall quality of wine in Franciacorta is generally very high. What sets Bosio wine apart is their freshness, minerality, and elegance. This characteristic can be found in all of our products, from our Satin to our reserve wine. As I said before, all of our vineyards are in the north of Franciacorta and near Lake Iseo, and the lake's influence is very important for our sparkling wine. On the other hand, we can't have a powerful structure in our wine. What we aim for and what define our style is always balance and elegance.
Yes, I can definitely say that Franciacorta by Bosio is very elegant wine. That's very true. But also what I could add to what Laura said, that Franciacorta wine is a very high quality wine, because it is possible to take just a small portion of the juice, not the entire juice, from the grapes. So it takes the best of quality of the grape to make Franciacorta. And of course, it's made of it's made by classical method, method champenois, metodo classico, which is a refined bubble, which is very refined taste. But Laura, can you also tell me, you try to use less sugar from what I understood from your visit, as you explained me. Is that so?
Yes, because we have a small quantity of sugar in all our wines. The quantity is in Satin with 5 grams per liter. And we have 8 label, and 4 of these are with no sugar.
And I would say that's a very modern approach, because now the trend is for drier style of sparkling wine, definitely. So your Franciacorta is in this trend, definitely. So Franciacorta production is known for its challenges, from strict regulations to long aging requirements. But what makes it worth the effort for you personally as a producer?
In Franciacorta, we have a consortium that protects the denomination, supported by a very strict production code. And I always say, thanks goodness we do. There are rules for vineyards planting, limits on yields per hectare, and we can do the harvest only by hand. Strict minimum aging period on the lease, minimum of 1.5 years for basic line, and much more rules. I truly believe that all these rules are essential if we want to protect and improve the value of our territory and of our sparkling wine, and if you aim to grow in terms of quality. In my opinion, quality remains now more than ever the only real element that allows us to stand out. It's important to maintain this rule, and it's important that all producers make wine with this rule.
Is an important voice in the region. What are your goals for promoting Franciacorta and distinguishing it for the international stage?
In recent years, our consortium has been investing significantly in a project and partnership aimed at raising international knowledge of Franciacorta. As a result, interest from foreign trade professionals has grown, and with it, our export share has increased. Franciacorta has proudly partnered with Michelin since 2021, and since 2024 has the exclusive sparkling wine partner of the Michelin Guide Ceremonies and Sommeliers Award in the US. Since 2020, Franciacorta has been the official sparkling wine of the Emmy Awards. And there is still a lot of work to be done, of course, but I believe we are on the right path.
Well, yes, that's a lot of work from the consortium indeed. And I've noticed within the last years how voice of Franciacorta became louder. I also know a few very, very nice wine professionals who work with the Franciacorta Consortium, and I think it is a very important job to make it more popular, to make it more vivid on the international scene, because all in all, Franciacorta is not so much in volume to be produced, but it's definitely a unique wine. It's definitely one of the most interesting sparkling wines of Italy. So this is a very important job that Consorzio and all the producers do, because I have to say again that Franciacorta is a unique area because of 300 producers altogether, and each one has quite a small share of this market, because three big producers, say Berlucchi has 25% of the entire production, then it's Bella Vista, then it's Ca del Bosco, but they also have a big share. But imagine that altogether it might be 50%, right? So in 50% of the production is shared among 300 or 200 uh, 97 producers. So it's quite a fascinating range of styles, of approaches. It's so interesting to discover these jewels. So it's a never ending journey in Franciacorta, when it's worth taking time and go to one estate to another to meet producers. So my next question is about collaboration. Well, it is essential in raising region's profile. So, how are you working with other Franciacorta producers or associations to strengthen the identity of the denomination at home and abroad?
Thanks to these three great producers who helped our region grow and gain recognition. Is very important for the producer, these three big brands. Then I think, in my opinion, you can't go far on your own. Both my brother and I strongly believe in unity and collaboration among producers. As I mentioned, we are part of the consortium and we try to contribute actively to its value project. We maintain a good relationship with other producers. And first and foremost, we should see each other as colleagues, not competitors. Strength lies in unity. Is important. It's important to speak with other colleagues and understand and speak about new idea, new project. It's very, very important for us.
That's exactly right. You help each other, you listen to each other, you all in all do the same thing. Make Franciacorta known. It's a lot about collaboration, and I'm very pleased to hear that from you. Are you conducting any research, trials, or experimentation in your vineyard or cellar? For example, with aging techniques or sustainability practices or new vineyard management approach?
Yes, in 2013 we began the conversion of all our vineyards, and after 3 years, since 2016, all of our vineyards have been managed under certificate organic farming practice. Today we are fully organic in the vineyards. Then my brother Cesare is an agronomist, and for years he has been conducting trials and experiments aimed at improving sustainability. Over time, for example, we have studied the amount of carbon dioxide emission generated per bottle produced, and have evaluated the health of our soils. Every day, Cesare make experiment and improve a new vineyard management approach. Is important to grow and is important for sustainability.
That's so very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. Then, looking at trends in Franciacorta, are producers leaning more toward traditional style or exploring contemporary expressions? Where does Bosio Franciacorta positioning itself?
In the 90s, the consortium created a new style of wine named Satin, and a name that recalls silk, chosen for its softness and elegance, we said before. Satin is a characteristic by a finer perlage compared to classic brut, due to having one less atmosphere of pressure in the bottle. And Satene is also made exclusively from white grapes. For example, our Satene you have tested is made with only Chardonnay. This innovation was very important for Franciacorta. Over the years, the region both identified with and became known for this unique product for Satin. Satin is Franciacorta because Satin you can found all in Franciacorta. There isn't any region in Italy produce Satin. Over the past decade, however, the approach to Franciacorta has evolved has have consumer tastes and drinking habits. For example, that has been a shift in interest toward drier styles with lower sugar content. As a result, demand for Padosé Nature Dosagero wine has grown significantly, and so has their production. I said before that our company, we have always worked with very low dosage levels of sugar. Our satin contain just 5 grams, I said, of sugar per liter. And so adapting this trend has not been difficult for us. Today we produce 8 labels and 4 of these are with no sugar, I said.
Well, thank you for these explanations. How do you see Franciacorta wines currently perceiving internationally, and how would you like that perception to evolve over the coming years?
As I said before, international interest in Franciacorta is growing, and I truly hope this trend continues. I also hope that people abroad will come to understand just how much work goes into producing a single bottle of Franciacorta, and that they will come to truly appreciate its value. You know that for produce one bottle of Franciacorta is necessary minimum of 2 years and a half. And I would love to see more and more international professionals visiting our region because only by experience it firsthand can they understand the importance of what we do.
That's so true. You really need to be in the area to meet different producers to see the real face of Franciacorta. This wasn't obvious for me before I actually visited the area, because when you live abroad, when you taste Franciacorta maybe from the shelf in a supermarket or a special wine store, it most probably will be some big name of Franciacorta, one of these 3 labels that we mentioned. But
Yes.
the true expression of Franciacorta is in diversity of styles. So in order to taste all the different expressions, you need to visit to see with your own eyes. Of course, to enjoy Iseo Lake, to enjoy delicious food of fresh water fish. And I must say that chefs in Iseo, they do a great job cooking fresh lake fish, because this
Yes.
is a particular taste. Not everyone likes it, but I can say that the way it's produced in your area, in restaurants, in tavernas, it's so delicious, and it's also seasonal, with seasonal approach, which is very, very good. Also, no matter which season you
Yes.
come, you get the best of what's available. Then my question would be about food and wine, and when you recommend your region to foreign visitors, what are the must-see places, landscapes, or cultural highlights they should experience alongside your wines?
Yes, you have said now. Very close to us is a lake, a small beautiful lake worth exploring through the various villages along its shores. Then there is Montisola, the largest lake island in Europe. The area also offers several beautiful historic villages and buildings, as well as a natural reserve called Torbiere, which is rich in local flora and fauna. And then Franciacorta is also strategically located in just about an hour. We can reach cities full of history and culture and fashion like Milan and Verona.
Yes, the location is perfect. And whoever goes to the lake area in Italy, yes, a lot of people go to Como or Maggiore or Garda. Those are bigger lakes. But
Yes.
please, my advice, take your time and stop by Iseo Lake. Explore these little cities, small towns, and just to feel the special atmosphere, because the lake is a lot smaller with, yes, as you mentioned, this beautiful Montisola. You can take a boat to go to this island. Also, it's possible to explore it by bicycle. Also, there are a lot of interesting routes around the lake also by bicycle, so there is a lot to see. It feels much more cozy, not so posh, not so expensive also in comparison to Garda or Como. And you definitely drink and eat well, right, Laura?
Yes. You drink better in this lake.
Yeah, I also think so. This is why I keep coming back. I always want to go, and I tell all my friends, please, in the summer, a lot of people go to the seaside to enjoy the sea. But it's a, I think it's my secret advice: don't go to the seaside because it's crowded and not so pleasant at the time. But do go to Iseo Lake. It's very fresh. It's so pleasant to swim, but you also enjoy beautiful atmosphere, and it's not so crowded, not so, doesn't feel touristic. You know what I mean? These small shops with local clothes, with local choice of brands, with local artisanal food, nice wine selection, also international wine selection. If you don't, if you, let's say, one day tired of trying Franciacorta, there is champagne, there is other wines available. So it's a good, it's a very good area to explore during summer, for sure.
Yes.
And also a lot of wineries have facilities, touristic facilities, so it's possible to stay within a winery with overlooking the vineyards, wake up overlooking vineyards, enjoy more of this area this way. Mm, right,
Yes.
Laura?
Yes, yes. You
Yes.
you you must come in Franciacorta and in Iseo Lake. It's a very beautiful area.
Yes. So my last question would be, which food and wine events in Franciacorta or Lombardy would you suggest to visitors who want truly understand the gastronomy and sparkling wine of your
I,
area?
yes, every year on the third weekend of September, the last weekend, Franciacorta hosts the Festival of Franciacorta, a long-standing event that celebrates the wines, producers, and the territory of the region. Over the course of 3 days, wineries open their doors to visitors for guided tours, tasting, and unique food and wine experience. It's a very, very beautiful weekend in Franciacorta every year at the third weekend. There are also many local festivals in the various villages where traditional dishes, you said before, lake fish or meat, are served alongside Franciacorta wines.
And I say, from my experience, I can say that Franciacorta pairs so well with most of the dishes you find in the area. Meat dishes or fish, no matter. because when we visited the area with other Italian wine ambassadors, of course, we were represented the most signature dishes of the area, and it was always paired with Franciacorta, different kind, of course, different style, different blend, Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. Sometimes it was Blanc de Noir, sometimes it was Blanc de Blanc, but it was always a very good match also with meat, because even with steaks, even with tartar, even with some fatty dishes, polenta, lake fish, a lot. And I love this significant dish in Franciacorta when lake fish is cooked with breadcrumbs, butter, and sage in oven al forno,
Sì.
and it's a bit fatty, but it's so delicious, and it's beautifully paired with Franciacorta. Mamma mia, it's absolutely beautiful memory of mine. So this makes me come back, want to come back all the time.
Yes, join us in Franciacorta. We're excited to welcome our listeners.
Thank you, Laura. So this open cellars of Franciacorta happened just last weekend, right? It just
Yes,
happened.
yes. Festival Franciacorta, I have finished the last weekend.
I saw in Instagram and other social media that you had very interesting bicycle tours on the vineyard that day. Something
Yes,
very nice and positive.
yes.
How did it go?
In the last years, grow the tourism with the bike. And so every month we organize the bike tour in the vineyards. Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic. I have to bring my wine club to do bicycle tour in Bosio
And
and
and the,
Franciacorta.
and after the bike tour, always drink a sparkling wine, Franciacorta.
Oh, perfect. That's perfect. Right? It sounds just right. Okay. I hope more of our listeners learn about Franciacorta and visit the area one day, since it's also very convenient to come because of airport in Milano or Bergamo. So the flights are very convenient. Or and visit, as you mentioned, visit also Verona afterwards, or go back to Milano. So there are, or beautiful Bergamo, older city of Bergamo. So there are a lot of opportunities
Yeah.
around. Yeah. So I think it's time to return the floor to Beatrice, so that we do a wrap of this interview.
This interview was amazing, and I want also to be involved in the bike Franciacorta situation, please. So when you're going, Anna, I will come with you really gladly.
Okay, I will let you know, Beatrice.
I'm waiting for you in Franciacorta.
Perfect.
With a bike.
Thank you so much, Anna and Laura. That was such a nice interview. And thank you so much, guys, to have spent time with us. So, for wrap things up, for those who are interested to participate, just send us a DM through our Instagram or mail our Italian Wine Podcast producer at info@italianwinepodcast.com. Thank you so much again, Anna and Laura. That was really, really nice. And thank you so much for listening. That's a wrap from Italian Wine Podcast. Ciao, ciao!
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through italianwinepodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, cin cin.